Hey everyone, this is Analia and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. I just wanted to come on and talk about something that has been really awesome. And I don't mean like the kitschy sort of, 1980s awesome. I mean awesome with regard to the Lord. So, awesome. And also just a reminder to myself, to you who are watching, that our timing is not God's timing, and God's timing is always right. And there have been a few things that have happened in my life recently that I wanted to share with you that are such a God timing situation that when I stop and think about it, it really just blows me away. There is a woman that I know. She is a cranial sacral therapist. Now, just Google cranial sacral therapy if you don't know what it is, because I can't explain it in all of this, and that's not why I'm here. I have been seeing her though for over 20 years. She came to Michael's service. She's such a bright light. She is amazing, and I just adore her. And I always feel so much better after going to see her. And I'd been thinking for a while about just really wanting to go and see her for some cranial sacral therapy. But I have not had the extra money because, it costs money to go. It wasn't anything that I had prayed about. I hadn't asked the Lord, can you please make something happen so that I can go and see her and get this done? It was just something that I'd wanted. It was a desire of my heart. And I've been really wanting to go for the last couple of months. And I was at a Trader Joe's. This was a few weeks ago. And I was doing a Marco Polo with my sister-in-law. So even though I pulled in and I was in the parking lot, I was finishing up my Marco Polo and I got out. And as I was walking toward the entrance of Trader's, my friend, who's the cranial sacral therapist, she was walking in as well. And we saw each other, hadn't seen her since probably September. Around September was the last time I saw her. And we saw each other and we hugged really hard. And I said, oh my goodness, I've been thinking about you so, so much. And she said, you have? And I said, yes. And she says, well, I've been thinking about you too. And I want to give you a free session. And I was just like, you do? Really? And yeah, she's like, yes, I so want to. And I was so excited about that. And it didn't really dawn on me until after I had done my shopping and I got back to my car that was such God's timing. If I had not been sitting in the parking lot finishing up that Marco Polo to my sister-in-law and I had just gone in, I would have gone in before my friend got there. We never would have seen each other. We may have seen each other inside Traders, but maybe not. I'm thinking like I'm erring on the side that we would not have run into each other. We had to be getting in at the same time, and I am 100% convinced that God fully orchestrated that, even though it wasn't something that I had asked him for. Our Father knows the desires of our hearts, and he gave that to me through my friend. And I saw her the next week and had a cranial sacral therapy treatment, and it was so amazing. And just being with her, I just love being with her. So it was just so, so great. The other thing is, I recently got a job. Now, I haven't worked outside of the home since 2020, I think 2021, and that was just for about a year. After Michael passed away, I think I've shared with you, there was no life insurance. And so it's really been God sending ravens, to me, and in the form of friends and family helping pay bills, put me on vacations, make sure there's food, make sure I have gas, make sure the rent gets paid, electric bill. Just amazing. God has sent so many ravens, and I've been so blessed and grateful. And I have a son who works, one of my sons works, he's a server at a restaurant in Belmont Shore. And this particular restaurant is opening another restaurant that's at the end. It's south, and that is in the name actually on purpose. So I was a server years ago. Seriously, it's been over 30 years. I happened to work at a restaurant in Chicago. I worked at one in Santa Monica. I worked at one downtown LA. I worked in one in Long Beach, down by Catalina Landing. And I definitely have experience as an assistant hostess and then a lead hostess and then a server and a trainer and in all of these places. And I am an absolute foodie, and I love giving people food, even as a server, because it just, it enhances the whole experience, right? That's why you go to a restaurant. So, but this place where I interviewed where my son works, and they really want to have people who, if they're going to hire you as a server, they want you to have 2 years current experience serving. Well, I do not have that. It doesn't matter that I have my own side baking business. It doesn't matter that I was a personal chef for over a year. They want current experience. I understand. I get that. And this restaurant that is getting ready to open, they did a whole week of open interviews, which I really like, because when you submit, I will tell you, I was on Indeed, I was on Monster, I was looking for serving positions, hosting positions, busser. I would be a busser. I don't care. Administrative positions, just all kinds of stuff. And there was no one except this place that did open interviews. Some of them you submit your application, and then they want you to take, in my opinion, the most ridiculous personality quiz ever. It's like they ask you these questions, and it's one or the other, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm doing this, and it takes like 30 minutes, and I'm thinking, well, it's both of these things, or it's none of these things, or it's this one more than that. And I think, how does this even matter? Meet me, right? Call me up, meet me. And then talk with me, see what kind of a person I am, see if I'd be a fit that way, not some ridiculous personality test. No offense to the people who created those exams. It's not about that. It's just, I feel like someone should be met. And this is not rocket science, everyone. This is, it's waiting tables, it's serving or being a hostess. It's really personality and hospitality, and I like ooze that kind of stuff, not necessarily the personality. I mean, I do, but I wouldn't say that I'm this effervescent, bubbly person. I don't mean it like that. When it comes to food, however, I got it. I can so do it. So I was really glad that they had open interviews. And I went, they have on their application, what position are you applying for? And so they only give you 2 slots. So of course I said server, even though I knew that they probably weren't going to hire me for that, but then also for the host position. So that was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Tuesday. I got a call on Wednesday to come in for second interview on Thursday. And for Thursday, when I went for the second interview, they said, okay, we're going to do a panel interview the following week. Am I available? Absolutely, I am. And my son, who works at their sister restaurant, he had said, Mom, if they call you back for the panel interview, you've got it. They're going to hire you. And I said, well, okay. Now, can I just tell you, even when I went to interview both times, and the panel, and when I went I got the job, so I was like so excited as a host, and I'm a greeter, they call it a greeter, and I was so thrilled. And I'm the oldest person there, everyone. I'm 57. I'm the oldest person there. Maybe some of the chefs were in their late 40s, early 50s, but when it comes to everyone else that's like front of the house and a lot of the back of the house, I'm the oldest one there. So that's okay. I've got experience, and my hope is to become a server in a couple of months. Anyway, as far as the timing goes, so This restaurant is in Belmont Shore in Long Beach. And where they have built the restaurant, it used to be a Blockbuster. And if you're watching this and you know anything about Blockbuster, you know that Blockbuster is defunct. It has been for a while. There was one more, I think, in Oregon. I'm not sure if it's still there, but that was the last one. But it's gone. And this building has been empty. Gosh, that Blockbuster has probably been gone for, I'm going to say 12 to 15 years. It's been gone. All right. So this building has been empty since 2020 when this restaurant bought the building and started getting it all together to put the new restaurant in. And it took 6 years for this restaurant to happen. And then I got a job. And when I look at this, I think again about God's timing. The Blockbuster had to go away. The building needed to remain empty until 2020. It needed to remain empty for almost 15 years. And then that restaurant had to be built because God knew that I needed a job. And not just me, but every other person who's got hired there, of course. Me, his daughter, needed a job. And I've been praying about this since maybe like a couple months after Michael passed away. Lord, I need a job. I need a job. And I feel like it's been crickets. I've applied, I've, tried to find something. And so I was reminded of Sarah and Abraham. It was 25 years before God answered their prayer for a child, for Isaac. God's timing is never our timing. It never is. And while it can be difficult and frustrating in that waiting, for me, what this waiting has done during this time is just helped me to have more faith in God, helped me to trust in him more, that he sees me, that he, in my waiting, he has sent ravens, right? He's sent people to supply my needs. And now he's opened this door and given me this job. And I'm so ready to work. I want to work. I need to work mentally and physically because I'll be moving around and everything, which is great. It's not just going to be a sedentary job. So I'm glad about that. I'll be meeting people. I'll be around really delicious food. And I don't know what's going to come of this. My goal is to become a server because that will be better income-wise for me. And I'm just so excited. And I just want, if anything, I want this video to encourage you that there is a purpose in waiting. There is a purpose in waiting. And if you trust God and just don't sit idle. Definitely, I have not sat idle during this time. I've been starting this channel. I have a blog. I've been baking cookies and selling cookie boxes and taking care of my mother and her home while she's in the nursing facility. I've been doing things, and I've just also been waiting. So I pray that that's an encouragement to you. If you have waited on the Lord for a thing, whether it is a job, whether it's the mending of a relationship, whether it's the return of your prodigal child, whatever that is, whether it's emotional healing, physical healing, put that in the comment below and just tell everyone, tell them that you're still waiting. Tell them that I waited and this is where God took me. Tell us how in that waiting, if it were frustrated, if it grew your faith, whatever it is, I want to hear about it. I want anyone who watches this video and reads the comments to hear about it, to know that even as God's children, there's still sometimes a waiting period. Sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's years. It's just right. I don't believe in coincidence. This was God knew. God 100% knew, right? Because he knows our past, he knows our present, he knows our future. So when that Blockbuster closed all those years ago, he already knew in the future that his daughter, Analia, would need a job. And here we are. Here we are. So Stay strong, and thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad you were here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.